What's going on, everybody? This is Hoop Intellect and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're taking a first look at one of the best shooters in the class, and that is Moses Moody. He's a 6'6" wing out of Arkansas and has performed well enough so far to garner attention in the lottery. Let's go ahead and get into it. Moody is lethal from the outside. He's got good form from the ground up, he's confident, can shoot off of movement, and does a great job of reading defenses and relocating to open spaces. 3-point shooting is his biggest strength, and although he's making just a respectable 36% right now, he projects as an elite shooter who can do it in a variety of settings, and is someone you don't have to make adjustments for regardless of personnel. Just plug and play. We'll get more in depth on him as a shooter in a later video, but for now, just enjoy watching him fill it up from deep in several different situations.
Moody's got a ball screen, meaning he didn't go out and try to impact the ball screen. He was trying to step it into those threes. Moody.
The numbers will tell you what they will tell you from
Moses Moody, or he can guard your big man, and that's what Alabama did.
There is Moody here in the opening half. Second three made by the Mavs. Arkansas trying to answer back.
Moses Moody in the corner will rise. Razorbacks have gone 5 of 13 from the free throw line to
over 10 a game, over 5 rebounds a contest. Thompson, the third Golden Eagle in double figures. He now has 10 points. Shackelford and Petty have combined for 21.
Coming into college, I wasn't sure what to expect from Moody outside of being a 3-point shooter, but he's been surprisingly much more adept at scoring than I thought he'd be. Super comfortable on his dribble pull-ups going either direction, and has even showcased a solid runner or floater in the lane.
Running the zone as much.
Michael Musselman look like. How'd this guy?
He's probably pretty nervous because
Moses starts looking at Moses Moody more as their alpha dog. And I don't know the kid's personality necessarily, but they're going to start looking for him a lot more now.
Tapped around, a long rebound back out to Arkansas. Moses Moody at the end.
In the team mindset is, I think, what really separates Nate Oates' team versus many of the past.
Like I mentioned earlier, he moves pretty well without the ball. He's gotten himself several opportunities off of cuts and showcased an intriguing jump stop or pivot series that I think could be really effective as he continues to work on his game.
I think first to 100 for either of these teams. Moses Moody stops.
Alabama's not letting up.
Moody, man over at 7'3", exceptional passer from the top of the key.
He also gets to the line a little over 5 times a contest, which is really good for a wing, and amazing for somebody whose usage percentage has just hovered around the 20% mark this season. Getting to the line is a major key of being an effective scorer, and he shoots it at an 80% clip. There are a couple things that he'll have to get better at around the rim to help complete his game, but we'll get into that later.
Arkansas picks up the loose ball. Here's Sills back the other way. Moody had their game postponed. Their last 2 midweek games have been postponed. Their only game was last Saturday against Tennessee.
At 6'6", 205, Moody has textbook size for a modern wing. He's not the best athlete, nor is he someone who's going to consistently get up into his matchup and be overtly tenacious, but he's solid and does a good job of keeping his man in front. He's got a rumored 7-foot wingspan, and I'd say that's probably pretty accurate just based on the eye test. What he lacks in quickness, he makes up for with his length.
Has done on their last 2 possessions.
James around the corner.
Cooper, I can tell you that.
Auburn's got a 21-point lead on the road at Georgia. Moody again.
I talked about the many things that Moody can do. Does not give up on plays, really.
Took a lot of bigs away from their defensive assignments, and if he can do that, stretch a team, it makes Arkansas tough to guard.
He's taken several charges, has good awareness on rotations, and a good overall grasp on team defense concepts. I think he projects as someone who can be reliable on this end of the floor.
That's what they said in your church league. They said, hey.
B.J. Harvey. Harvey gets to the logo, and
lastly, and probably one of the more interesting pieces of his game, is his ability on the offensive glass. He's quietly a terrific offensive rebounder for his position. He averages 2.4 offensive rebounds a game and is shooting 75% on those putbacks. He crashes the glass with regularity and has a knack for getting his hands on the ball in traffic. He's got good instincts and timing, and his length definitely helps him a ton in this area. One of the more unique parts of his game is something that shows you he's focused on winning. There aren't a ton of high-level scoring recruits doing little things like this from the jump.
Davis got blocked.
Man over, 3 off the mark, rebound by Justin Smith. Everybody's hanging around. Loose ball scooped up by the Hawks.
Can handle it. Such a valuable piece for this Razorback squad this year.
Tapped around and
now let's transition into a few areas of his game that Moses Moody can still work and improve upon, starting with his finishing. His lack of explosiveness and agility really tends to hurt him at the basket. Now it's not too much of a problem that it would drastically affect his stock or my projection of him, but it definitely is a weak point of his. He's also not the most creative and hasn't shown himself to have the best touch around the basket either. This is probably his biggest weak point offensively so far.
Moody's had a heck of a game. 18 points. Hasn't missed a shot.
Inside Rupp Arena. Inside Rupp Arena.
Get hesitant for 1 second in this game.
Get on this board early, maybe he gets his confidence going. You could hear Coach Stack in the background saying, "That's a foul."
Moody sets him up.
On a pick and pop, nice.
Moody, nice pass. 100 points on the road in that win.
Great pass.
There have been a few games where he basically goes missing. The majority of this has to do with the fact that his teammates aren't looking for him as much as they need to be, and he's not exactly the true focal point for this team offensively. A lot of scouting or projecting is determining the situation that they're in, so I wouldn't put all of this on him, and he's done a decent job of contributing in other areas when he's having an off night scoring, but that consistency and assertiveness could be the difference in him going in the top 10 or later in the lottery. Athletic breakthroughs are really tough to have, especially when you're heading towards a league that's full of the world's greatest athletes. However, there's still a lot of tangible things he can work on. Agility, navigating tight spaces, jumping off of both 1 and 2 feet, and elevating the score. I think there's going to be a lot of band work and other fast twitch exercises in his future, and hopefully he gets with the right people who really take the time to break down his movements and weak points to help him going forward. Outside of what I just mentioned in terms of things I'm watching, I want to see how Moody responds against certain matchups in the SEC and against a team like Oklahoma State, who is pretty aggressive and will throw a few different looks and personnel at you defensively. Outside of that, we'll get to watch more of him defensively and how he bounces back in shooting slumps or games that he didn't get a ton of offensive opportunities. From all accounts, he's a high character guy and statistically has bounced back quite well from those down games. That's going to do it for this video. I think Moses Moody has cemented himself as one of the premier wings in the class at this point. Shooting will always reign supreme, and when you add all the other things he's shown he's capable of, you have a guy who I think can end up anywhere from the top 8 to the mid-teens, just depending on how things shake out with a few other players and how he performs down the stretch of the season. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below what you think of Moses Moody's game. I'm Keandre, this is Hoop Intellect, and I'm out.
TFM, I put in that work.